Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at a Lego Star Wars magazine number 18 Super. This is, I think, the first Lego Star Wars magazine I'm looking at, but not the last. This is a magazine in French that I brought home from France and from my recent trip to Europe, and I have my representations of Missy Alexander and Sobrix over here, which also came with me to Europe. And I don't think I've looked at a Star Wars magazine just yet, and I'm excited about this. This one actually has some stuff similar to a different one I looked at, and right off the bat we can see that the set, a kind of poly bag, paper bag, foil bag, is for a mini Imperial Shuttle here with 46 pieces. For the magazine in total, I paid €7 or €6.99, which I think is $8 to $9 US, which is, I think, I don't know. I'm fine with that, but I'll talk more about the value and the price later. This one does come with a limited edition collectible card, trading card here, and let me pull this off and try not to damage it at all. I had a different one of these. I think it was, oh shoot, I don't even remember. I thought it was like a Technic magazine or something that had a card on it, which was a Marvel card but was similar, and it got a little bit destroyed. Maybe it wasn't Marvel, maybe it was Batman or something. I have no idea, but I got this one with Thanos and Ronan on it. This one is a Star Wars one, and it has Anakin Skywalker on here. So this one's in a little better condition. Still not great because it wasn't covered up with anything on here. It was just kind of loose, and then when vendors kind of just put these in the racks and whatever, they can get damaged, bent up, all that stuff. So there's like a little crease over here and maybe a little dents around the edge, but I like the metallic printing there. I like the kind of emblems in the back, which is pretty cool. The holographic pattern on this is, I guess, pretty similar. They're just a different color. It's kind of a, maybe not. I guess this one feels a little more cracked ice, a little more confetti to me than maybe the other one. This one looks slightly more organized and slightly more like a grid pattern to me, but that could just be me here. We see the Anakin minifigure there, and it does say limited edition in French here. The back is not too much going on there, just trading card collection thing here. So collectible card, I don't know if those hold value or why they would necessarily, but something that I thought was worth considering. And then we have the magazine, so I'm gonna go through the magazine a little bit, talk my way through it, then I'm going to put this together, and then I'll share my thoughts at the end. So right off the bat here, I'll remove the paper bag, and just as a reminder, I've said this on some previous videos, I do not speak French, I cannot read French, I know very, very little French, but I do have some French magazines, I have some Italian magazines. Again, I don't know that language either, so I'm just kind of doing my best thumbing through these with what I can maybe gather from context clues and stuff like that. So we can see here, I don't know what it means that this is magazine number 18 Super. I was trying to look on Bricklink and Brickset to see what Super was versus something else, but into the first page here we have like the table of contents, the summary, pointing to some of the different stuff that is in this issue, and then we get right into a comic here, which is actually pretty cool. I like how this is drawn. It seems slightly different to me than the Lego magazine comics that I've seen in like Marvel and DC, like Batman ones and Spider-Man ones, but I can't necessarily say why. So we do have the comic going on here. We have a little promo for a Ninjago set. We continue with the comic here, and then we get to the posters. So one of them has Luke and some X-Wings and stuff, and the other one has, oh, this is, are they both 25th anniversary? Maybe not. Okay, interesting. So this one does have the 25 years of Lego Star Wars kind of thing there, and this looks to be like Attack of the Clones type stuff, or prequel type stuff, which makes sense. The Anakin card that was on this one is kind of prequel Anakin, and similar to the one represented here. You got the super battle droids and some gunships or dropships or different things over there. We have the mailing thing to get to sign up to get these magazines, and then we get into some activities. Again, some prequel stuff over here, the Caminos or Caminoans, doing some activity with these DNA strands. We have a little bit of a maze here, which with Han and the Tauntaun on Hoth. Onto the next one, we have some other activity here for Ahsoka. We have another game here between Yoda and just Emperor Palpatine, maybe. Then we get kind of another, not a maze necessarily, but its own little activity here, a mission here, and then we have the instructions for the polybag that is part of this set, so I'm excited to look at that. We'll come back to that in a second. And then we have more kind of comic book stuff. Finally, we get to a couple more games, activities there, and some drawing contests or drawing things of different people who maybe get the magazines and submitted these drawings. At the back, again, we have ads for the what's coming up next for different Star Wars magazines. So this one looks like it has Kylo Ren and comes with a clone, a 501st clone. We also have the answers to some of the games and puzzles and stuff. Minecraft magazine thing over here, and at the back we have more of a look of other Star Wars magazines that are releasing in 2024, I believe, as well. I'm assuming this one with the Darth Vader was coming out in the end of June. So I actually believe I have one of these, possibly more than one. So I'll probably look at those in the future, but that's kind of everything that's in here. It seemed like it was more comic compared to other ones I've looked at. I just, compared to like the Spider-Man and the Batman ones I've looked at, this one seemed like it had more comic pages, compared to other ones slightly, because it had kind of a pretty long section before the posters and everything that was all comic, and then there's even a little bit at the end, and then compared to like the Technic one that I looked at a little bit ago, that one didn't really have comics, but it had a lot more interviews and information and different stuff. So that was a little bit of a different experience. But again, I don't know French or Italian, so that's that. But now we'll kind of get into the build here for this mini Imperial Shuttle. And while I build this, I will speed the video up and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build for this polybag, paper bag, Imperial Shuttle from the Star Wars magazine, I just wanted to say thanks for watching and then remind you to like the video if you like the video. Thanks, now on to my review. Okay, so this is the mini polybag, paper bag magazine set for this Lego Star Wars magazine, the mini Imperial Shuttle. I think this is pretty cool, and again, I've been comparing different ones of these that I look at to other polybags that come without the magazine, because I think that's the most comparable thing, and this does remind me a bit of other Lego Star Wars poly bags that we see at the $5 price point. Ones that are just miniaturized versions of ships that we see at all different scales, X-Wings, AATs. There was a TIE Interceptor, maybe polybag that was recently done, or something like that. And I'm actually pretty confident that they've probably done Imperial Shuttle polybags as well. 46 pieces in this one. A lot of them are relatively small, and there are other Star Wars polybags that have slightly more pieces than that. Some might even have slightly less. And then once you look at other themes, it depends. But, for Star Wars, when it's like a little ship like this, they often don't have minifigures. Sometimes I wish they would, but they don't, and that's not a huge issue. So this is actually pretty similar to some of those other things, and I think this is actually a very serviceable version of this ship, which is very cool. So you start off by building doing some kind of interesting stuff here, using some brackets and things right away. We can see we kind of have these studs facing down underneath these vented tile pieces, or these grill pieces there. So then there's also some studs on the side building, and we kind of turn that over on its side. We add on these kind of edges here, which would become part of the kind of wing hinge area, as well as like little blasters there, which is really nice. So that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces each for just these little things on these 1x4s, and then we add on the kind of the cockpit area here that's clipped on. I think this is I want to say this is the older dark translucent. Is that right? No, I guess it wouldn't be. For some reason it looked a little more brown to me, but I think this is the more modern blue kind. So either way, the lighting or my eyes are deceiving me, but a little translucent there, that feels right. This is clipped on, so the angle of this can be a little bit changed. Then we use some pretty standard techniques for the kind of vertical wing, or this main upper wing here. I do like that even though we have kind of the underside of plates on one side, we still have the color like symmetry and mimicry there. This side it's tiles, this side it's the underside of plates, but that's okay there. And then we have the two side wings, which are the same but mirrored. They have little blasters on there. Those are only 4 pieces there, and they just clip right in, so they can be moved to get into kind of its flying orientation here, something like this, and then it can getting into its landing kind of configuration, maybe with the wings up and adjusting the cockpit area and everything there, and that's pretty good. This is actually a fine connection. I don't know how well balanced this is to like be able to stand on its own. I don't think it's supposed to be able to do that necessarily, but that would be cool. I do like that it does kind of have landing gear underneath here, so it doesn't sit right on the ground, or it doesn't appear to do that even when looking from it like level as it was set down, because this kind of comes down a little bit there. So that's really good. There's only 46 pieces in here, a couple big-ish ones for these kind of paper bags, mostly just these wing pieces there. So you get 2 of the same one over here, and then 1 of the flipped version of that, and then the rest of the pieces are relatively small, which is fine. I think the build for this is economical. I think it's recognizable, and I think this is a perfectly fine toy, a perfectly fine representation of the Imperial Shuttle, and I personally think this is up to the quality standards of other Lego Star Wars mini miniature ship polybag sets. We do have I forgot to mention this, a little bit of translucent back here for some thrust or whatever, which is very cool. But yeah, I think compared to especially some of the other 2024 Star Wars polybags, this feels about in line with them to me, just based on the overall like size, visual weight, even though, you know, it is relatively light, and maybe if it was in a polybag they would have beefed it up a little bit more in some sense, or maybe add a little more detail. But this is really straightforward. It comes together quickly, and I think it's a totally serviceable thing. I do love looking at models of stuff like this in different scales. So I have actually the first Imperial Shuttle set that ever came out back in the day, maybe in 2002 or something like that, 2003, in that era, in the early era of Lego Star Wars. I also have like a early micro fighter or mini fighter that came out around the same time there, and I actually probably have that one relatively close, but I'm not going to go get it now. That's all just to say I think this is good. They've probably done other versions of this, and I'd be interested to see all the mini ones, all the polybag versions or microfighter versions kind of compared to each other, and I would probably guess that this one fits in with a lot of those other ones, especially for some of the older ones. So I think this is pretty well achieved, pretty well accomplished, and I had fun building it. And yeah, it's a nice little model and totally swooshable and fun, so that's really great. No extra pieces for this one. If it were a polybag, I would expect to get, you know, some of the 1x1s, the tinier pieces here, like this piece, the cheese wedge in there, and even these kind of rounded pieces here I would expect to get, but you don't get those in this case, which is fine. 46 pieces here, get that, get the magazine, get the collectible trading card or collectible card thing here that's limited edition. €7 for the magazine plus the little polybag set. I think people sell these, you know, online, depending on where somebody is located, in the aftermarket for, you know, probably less than $5 US, but then there might be shipping and everything else kind of you know, added on to that. And so I'm not too weird about this, even if I paid, you know, more than these are worth. I did pay just the retail price that is printed on the magazine. So if these are coming out to everybody saying they should be €7, that's what I paid, and I'm at peace with that. I'm fine with that. I would always like for things to be cheaper, but with the amount of activities in here, the comic, all the production that goes into the magazine, as well as the little bonus stuff, and then the Lego pieces themselves, I feel fine for this being there. And I was just recently in my city jungle explorer water plane set, talking about, like, you know, bridging the gap between a polybag and a box set a little more. And I think now, having looked at this, you know, the magazines kind of do that in their own way. I'm mainly speaking about bridging the gap price-wise, but they're not available in the US, and they're not strictly Lego pieces. So I think there are probably plenty of builders, plenty of Lego fans, AFOLs, and otherwise mock makers, you know, collectors who probably aren't interested in any of the stuff that is in the magazine, because they're kind of novel to me. They're foreign to me. They're not something that I can super easily get, at least not walking up to like a stand on the street to be able to buy these. They still have kind of that unique appeal to me. So even though I don't speak the languages, I can't read this, I still do really like looking through them, and I do like to consider the value that one could ostensibly get out of engaging with the material in the printed magazine here. And I think that's a little bit hard to quantify, but I think it's there with the amount of the activities, with the reading and everything else. So I like that. I'm fine with the price. I thought this was pretty good. It's a little Imperial Shuttle, and that's what it's set out to be. So very good. I like it. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the LEGO videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more magazines, more LEGO Star Wars, tons of other LEGO sets from all different themes, all different shapes, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming LEGO videos. Subscriptions help me a lot, so thank you very much. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Maybe we can get there. That would mean a lot to me. And then if you wanted to support the channel in a different way by giving money to the channel, that's extremely helpful, and you can do that here on YouTube with membership, supers, and thanks. And I have the Patreon. It's in the video description on my channel page, patreon.com/sobricks. So maybe consider checking those things out to financially support the channel. It's very meaningful. It's very appreciated. It is not necessary. It is not needed. So I don't want people to make irresponsible choices for themselves to support me or support Sobricks or support the channel here, but for the people that are so inclined and fortunate enough to be able to afford doing things like that, there are ways to do it. So maybe consider checking those out. It is appreciated, but I'm just happy anybody watches, likes, comments, shares. All of that stuff is very, very meaningful to me, and I'm very grateful. So thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.